Hello everyone, I'm Amy Bebbington, ABCD's Director of Training. I'm pleased to be delivering this upper voice repertoire session for this year's festival. It's not possible to include every submitted piece in this relatively short presentation, but I'll do my best to cover as much repertoire as possible. There are two additional pieces that have also made their way into this selection, which are written for soprano, alto and lower voices. If you're looking to set marginalised female composers, look no further than this glorious piece called The Moon Bridge, written by Florence Price with words by Mary Rolofson Gamble. It's published by Schirmer, scored for SSA and piano, and ideally needs a capable pianist and conductor. It's beautifully well written for voices, particularly children's and youth choirs, and piano. The words are shaped beautifully, with well-crafted melodic and harmonic interpretation, particularly the slower sombre section and the brief compound time moment, which tenderly reflects the sea. Also from Schirmer is Mizzy Mazzoli's As Long as We Live for SSA and piano. Set to text from Walt Whitman's Song of the Road, it was written for the Brooklyn Youth Chorus. Mazzoli is a really fascinating composer-performer who is described by Time Out magazine as Brooklyn's post-millennial Mozart. It's a complex, gritty work, but would suit a contemporary women's ensemble. From Banks, I'd like to mention Lydia Kakbadz's piece, I Remember. Scored for 3 equal voices and a soloist, piano or harp and violin, it's hauntingly beautiful and reflective in its folk-like modal feel. This gorgeous performance comes from Rupert Gough and the choir of Royal Holloway, with Cecily Beer on harp. Do also check out Hilary Campbell's rather gorgeously happy piece, What's the Best Thing in the World? The Tiger is a fantastic piece written by Owen Park and published by Novello, setting William Blake's iconic text. It's written for 3 equal upper voice parts, but is often in 2 parts. In my view, it would suit singers from experienced youth choirs to mature ensembles, and could easily be programmed alongside other settings of this colourful text. It would also make for a fantastic competition piece. The vivid, well-crafted piano writing leads the accelerandi and ritardandi with excellent, well-judged pace. The vocal writing is predominantly modal in flavour, and the cross rhythms in differing time signatures are skillfully managed for singers. A lovely moment comes in the subtle quote from Taverner's The Lamb at bar 68. Did he who made the lamb make thee? I commend this piece to all conductors of upper voice ensembles, and this rather wonderful recording is sung by the Epiphany Consort under Tim Reeder's direction with the composer at the piano. Break Forth, O Beauteous Heavenly Light is published by the RSCM. It's written by Ghislaine Rees-Trapp for soprano, alto, lower voices and organ. The vocal lines offer a satisfying sprinkling of chromaticism, which give this piece an interesting flavour and offers the listener something refreshing and a little unpredictable. The compound time signature allows the work to flow naturally through the phrases, making this a little gem whose lower line would be equally well suited to youth choirs, cambiotta voices or female tenors. Also from RSCM is the exquisitely written Shepherds Are Kneeling, with words and music by Peter Nardone. Infinitely singable, this piece has great shape, both in terms of the melodic writing and also as a whole. Written for SA and lower voices with organ accompaniment, this piece would be particularly suitable for church choirs coming back to singing after a long break, as it features unison singing and simple but effective 3-part harmony. Cantate Domino by Pascal Martinet is scored for SSAA Women's Choir. It oscillates between largo maestoso sections with plain chant-like melodies and highly syncopated, text-driven vivo sections, which will undoubtedly present an enjoyable challenge to more capable choirs. Martinet has also written a beautiful full-part evening hymn, which is also worth investigating here. Gita is a vibrant cross-cultural piece in an Indian raga called Jog, which incorporates both major and minor modalities in a single scale. Scored for unaccompanied SSAA, the text syllables are onomatopoeic vocalizations of the sounds produced by Indian instruments. But don't let this put you off trying the piece. OUP have helpfully explained how to make each sound in the score so that it is accessible to all. This piece is available as a separate octavo or within the new anthology, Breath of Song, which features 10 contemporary female composers. Rina Esmail holds degrees from the Juilliard School and the Yale School of Music and works between the worlds of Indian and Western classical music to bring these musical communities closer together. Attributed to 16th century princess, nun and musician Leonora d'Este, Sicut Lilium is scored for unaccompanied 5-part voices, specifically SSSAA. It would particularly suit an all-girls church choir, as it calls for a high soprano tessitura that would benefit greatly from a decent acoustic. The text comes from the Song of Songs. As the lily is among the thorns, so is my love among the daughters. This recording is provided by Musica Secreta and Celestial Sirens, directed by Laurie Strass and Deborah Roberts. Sicut Lilium can be purchased separately or within the new Oxford Book of Upper Voice Polyphony. Sing a Song of Joy, composed by Janet Wheeler, sets verses from a song by Thomas Campion. It features jaunty cross rhythms of 6/8 and 3/4, which serves to keep singers on their rhythmic mettle. This is the second movement from Songs and Visions of Joy for SSA a cappella choir, and this movement has definitely whetted my appetite to discover what additional musical treasures the other movements hold. Also, do check out Sarah Catley's Dormi Jesu, also published by Maze Music.
Sing, we dance with yearning, wild strings with voices, let the gods lead us, lead on, like King of kings, of kings.
Douglas Coombs presents a piece setting a great 16th century text by Thomas Tusser called Get Holly and Ivy. It's a joyful, spirited work which relies on syncopation to make the lyrics really bounce. It's scored for SSA and piano and would suit school and youth choirs perfectly. Douglas cleverly structures the piece to make rehearsing it fun and efficient for young singers. I'd like to briefly mention two pieces published by Hal Leonard. Seasons, written by Ole Yelo, is written for two upper voice parts, piano and flute. The text is by Charles Anthony Silvestri, who sets verses that relate to each of the 4 seasons. It's a very gentle, simple piece with Yelo's trademark piano and harmonic writing. I also want to mention When the Party's Over by Billie Eilish and her brother producer Phineas O'Connell. It's scored for SSA and includes a vocal solo and piano. This piece would suit a secondary school vocal ensemble that opt for pop repertoire.
Don't you know I'm no good for you? I've learned to lose, you can't afford to. Tore my shirt to stop your bleeding, but nothing ever stops you leaving. Quiet when I'm coming home, I'm on my own. Ooh, I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that. Ooh, I could lie, say I like it like that, like it like that.
Five Sisters is written for SSA and piano with semi-chorus by Ruth Kahn. The subject of the work is the 5 13th century lancet windows dominating the north transept of York Minster. Telling symbols of women's strength and resilience, they were removed for protection during the First World War and subsequently restored and reinstated with a dedication to all women of the British Empire who lost their lives during that time. Ruth sets words and music of defiant energy using bold syncopations and bluesy keyboard harmonies to commemorate the courage and fortitude of these women. I'm only sorry there isn't a recording we can currently share, but it's a challenge for all you female ensembles out there. There Is No Rose, written by Christopher Wiggins, is scored for 3 equal upper voices with keyboard. This is simply but effectively written, mostly in 3 parts with some unison moments and a bold, dynamic ending. A few years ago, my girls' school chamber choir performed Christopher's A Spotless Rose, which is in a similar vein, and I would urge you to look at his considerable choral catalogue. Ave Regina Caelorum, Hail Heavenly Queen, was commissioned by Cantus from Trondheim, Norway in 2019. Arneson is often categorized in the new romantic school alongside Yelo and Lauridsen, and you can hear why. Scored for SSAA Divisi, this work would suit more capable youth choirs and adult choirs. It's a very joyous work that requires accuracy of text and buoyant rhythmic precision. The composer asks for singers to perform in a state of bliss, and I can imagine it being wonderfully satisfying work to sing, particularly in an ambient acoustic. It's definitely well worth considering for your future programming. I encourage you to take a look at the other repertoire I was unable to cover in detail today, and if you've made it this far, thank you for joining me.